Let me take an opportunity to welcome Mr. Raju Goyal, the officer from Aditya Birla Mumbai office, and he would, take us through the uh, the session today. And by the time I connect Mr. Manoj Jha to come on stage, I request Mr. Raju Goyal to start his presentation.
Thank you, and good morning to everyone, and namaskar. Mr. Khatri, thank you very much for saying the importance of the WHR in the cement industry in the given context of the green initiatives of India, as well as our industry progress and the growth. Second point, I'm very impressed to see that you have launched this mobile app. I downloaded last night, and I asked participant to participate in that network, and I will be also available whenever I can answer the questions or something I can support the community. I'm available for that. So first of all, thank you everyone for giving me this platform to share my thoughts on the WHR initiatives. So my topic today is a technical barrier in the utilizing the waste heat systems in our cement industry. Just to give you the little background of, I think everybody knows about UltraTech. UltraTech is India's largest cement manufacturing company. They are third in the world outside China, and we are producing almost 117 million ton of cement. We have the 23 integrated plant as well as grinding stations of 27. We have almost more than 100 plus RMC plants, which is keep on growing, and we are operating in outside India also, UAE, Bahrain, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Some of the projects which have completed are shown in the pictures here. I'm sure that you all know about UltraTech, and if you want to know more, you can please go to the website and find out more about the UltraTech. Just to give you the UltraTech power picture and power scenario of how we are keeping up with the green energy and how we are developing the WHR in our businesses, we can see that still our 60% of power is coming from thermal power plant. If you see in the past few years, we have moved quite significantly from thermal power to our renewable energy and WHR. Currently, we are operating about 110 million ton of renewable energy and 103 million megawatt of WHR capacity. Still, there's a long way to go. Our ambition is that to develop further WHRs in our operations. If you see the contribution of the energy, we are roughly about 25% energy is coming from the renewable and the WHR. So we have start the journey, and we are keep on doing this one, and we are very ambitious to build our new WHR process in our cement plant. The people who are, just to give you the background of this, how the WHR looks into the cement plant. WHR potential in the cement plants are waste energy coming out from the cooler or preheater gases which is going out to the atmosphere. This technology provides the atmosphere gases which we are releasing to the atmosphere from the system are captured through the boiler and convert to the energy. So this is the two potential areas for cement industry is used worldwide, and is very well known and very well established technologies available to use the WHR in cement plants. Just to give you that how this energy available from the plants and how this energy can be used. If you take the example of the typical operating plant, normally we say about 700 kilocalorie per kg of clinker is consumed to produce the clinker. Out of that, you can say that 410 is given because your raw material need to burn to the clinker, which is called heat of reaction. But remaining heat goes to the different areas of, especially in the air, especially in the losses, especially in radiations, and some goes to the material which goes out from the process. It means only the 700 kilocalories of the heat, 410 is really utilized to produce the cement or produce the clinker in our clinker process. If you see the right hand side, the losses are almost 290 kilocalories in our process. And if we install the WHR, especially in the cooler and the preheater flue gases, we can only capture out 58 and 58 theoretically, which equal to the about 116 kilocalorie per kg of clinker. So it means 117 kilocalories is still going out, which cannot be recovered. But interestingly to see that even though WHR process, the recovery rate or utilization or what you call this recovery rate is not very high compared to the other technology of the power generation, which is only 22%, still you can see that we can achieve significant power from this heat. So if you take this example and this numbers is still out of 290, still 264 goes out, but still the delta is producing quite significant energy for our operations, which can be equal to 30, depends upon 25 to 30% or 50%. In some cases, this goes to 50% of it, especially the clinkerization power consumption. So this is the basics what we want to use into our cement industry. The what are the best waste gases are going out, how to capture them. This is a very good technical solutions, but as we all know, whenever we get some plus point, there are some negative points always there. So I will define my challenges in the waste heat recovery system in cement plants, the two parts, one in the operational side of the WHR and technical challenges of the WHR. So if you can see that, let's talk about the operational challenges first. As you know that our cement process is mix of the lot of variables in terms of the raw material, in terms of the fuels, in terms of the operating conditions, external factors which is coming on the process, which is creating the disturbance in our process, which is fluctuating the temperature. So WHR may not have the sufficient or all the time consistent heat available from the cement plant, which is also affecting the recovery of heat from the waste air. And then also due to the variable operating conditions, because some of the places you need during the 12 months of the time, rainy season comes, dry season comes, water requirement, sometimes too much water in the material, which is also changing our operating set points, operating conditions, which is also affecting the recovery from the waste heat. Process interruption, the stability, as you know that our equipments and our processes are so dependent on the external factors. Sometimes due to the various reasons, our plants get interrupted or stopped and stability is getting affected, which is also affecting the recovery rate or recovery of the waste heat from the waste gases. There are some of the technical challenges are there. As we know, especially in India, most of the new plants are built on the 6-stage preheater. 6-stage preheater means the outlet gases temperatures are very low, especially in the preheater, which is impacting the heat energy required for the power generation. It means when your temperature is lower, especially in the preheater side, your equipment size become quite big and recovery is sometimes becomes quite significantly lower in terms of the economical barriers. Due to the space requirement and equipment requirement in the existing plant, there is some challenges in the layout which need to be studied because our structures and things will be required and need to be done. Some places people try to do the hot recirculation into the cooler especially, which is not permitted or not possible because of the cooler technology. Now all the plants are going for upgrading or installing the new technology, the cooler, which is also restricting the heat available from the cooler area. And this is also affecting our challenges in terms of the sizing, in terms of the recovery rate and economical things. And efficiency is getting lower because of the various parameters in the process, gases, temperature, and the pressures, which is affecting our whole economical as well as the design, which is impacting into our cost of installation. Let's talk about something about on the purely process point of view in the preheater, as we discussed that the waste heat recovery system can be installed, and the two places in the cement plant which is coming from the preheater side, where the hot gases are released to the atmosphere after the raw mill and cold mill grinding. I will talk the two sides of that, preheater as well as the cooler separately, because they both are having the different challenges. So especially in the preheater side, whenever you put the WHR, this is creating the additional pressure drop, which require significant increase in the air volume as well as the air volume, which is increasing the oxygen level. Your false airs especially goes high, which is having some problem in your clean plant operation, as well as increasing the power heat consumption as well as the power consumption, because you need to drive more air because to compensate that pressure loss. As we discussed, whenever you increase the oxygen profile, your false air goes up, which have the sometimes negative impact on the process. Whenever the plant which are having the limitation, the preheater fans, they are suffering because sometimes they cannot maintain the oxygen level, as India also using the quite significant amount of the pet coke with the high sulfur, which need little more oxygen in the process requirement to produce the clinker. Sometimes during the especially the rainy season things, your drying capacity of the raw mill and cold mill reduces, which means raw mill will not be produced enough to keep your clean up to the optimum or maximum level, which reduce the consumption. It means your production can go lower than the optimum point or the desired point because of the raw mill not available. Some of the cases we have also seen the cold mill, which is also taking the gases from the preheater. Due to the high moisture, their drying capacity also reduces, which is impacting the availability of the fuel, which affect the production. So that is also need to be consider whenever you design the WHR, what is your optimum level and what can be compromised in terms of the power versus the production, depends upon your priority and cost economics. Some of the cases also noticed, because most of our Indian cement plants raw mill grinding is the VRM. As we all know that VRM need to have a stable bed formation, because avoid the vibration as well as the tripping of the mill, which need the water. So when you put the more water in the mill again, your hot gases is coming out from the waste heat recovery system is already at a low temperature. Your product as well as the mill operations become very unstable or critical for operating, which is impacting on your residue as well as impacting on your mill performance because of the poor bed formation under the table. I'm sure that people who are from the cement industry understand the importance of the bed formation inside the mill, which is a very critical for the milling. Especially in the rainy season, coal mill also have the similar issues. Whenever you use the high moisture fuel or high moisture due to the rain, your coal mill capacity limited, which affect the power consumption goes high, as well as your production also goes low. Most important point I would like to also say that to industry, I think this is my personal opinion and personal observations. The cement plant has gone to the WHR quite significantly, but sometimes whenever you're using the alternative fuels are, or alternative raw materials are source of the chlorine, sulfur and other volatile matters. In that point, if you do not maintain the temperature at your bag house as well as your stack and the raw mill circuit, you might feel some corrosion or face some corrosion problems because of acidic dew point, because addition of the volatile matters, sulfur and chlorine becomes very critical. So this is the problems we face, technical barriers in the WHR, especially in the preheater side. Whenever we decide to use WHR, please make sure that this points has been taken care and sufficient heat to be given to your drying system, raw mill system or cold mill system, as well as to maintain your acid dew point in the flue gases, which is very important part from my experience, how we have to maintain the certain dew points, especially in the preheater. Now I'll move to the cooler side. Cooler is the one of the area where the maximum power can be generated, because the heat availability in the cooler is quite good. Even though new technology of the coolers are installed or replaced in the industry or the say cement plants, still there is a sufficient or maximum heat available from the cooler exhaust gases, which can be converted to the power very significantly and very easily. Whenever we use the cooler gases to WHR, same problem we also face here, the pressure drop. Your pressure drop increases because you're adding the additional resistance to the system, which is having the impact on the power consumption of the cooler sections. But it can be neutralized because you are generating some power, but still there is a power generation or power consumption, especially go to the cooler section, you might see some increase in the power consumption, especially in the cooling side. By putting this cooler, because now you have the, if you understand the cooler, because your hot gases recuperation has to be taken by the preheater gases, which is called the clean gases and the tertiary and secondary airs, and exhaust gas is also required to vent and as well as use the waste recovery system. So the three are the customer for the gases coming out from the cooler. It means your null point, it means distribution of the air becomes very, very challenging, and how to maintain that optimum point where your clean operation in terms of secondary and tertiary air volume as well as temperature can be maintained. Same time you can maximize your power generation from the cooler, which becomes a big challenge. And I think this need quite significant operating knowledge as well as operating experience to maintain that null point. Otherwise your clean get disturbed, your power generation will also be impacted. This need to be taken care very significantly, and I think now technology is available, instrumentation available. This problem can be solved by the instrumentation technology. If you run in the automate mode the cooler, it can be optimized. So this can be the taken care during your operation as well as the design also. We have also seen that the cooler filter performance, especially the EP in the cooler, get deteriorated because your temperature band keep on changing whenever the stop starts or problems comes in that. Second time also we have seen sometime because your particles also goes to the cooler, which is also creating the wear rate in the ducts and things, which increases the holes and all the deterioration in the ducts and things, which can impact your performance of the filter also. Air quality, especially in terms of the lower temperature, reducing the depression of the clean gases from the stack coming out, which also affecting the local community, because this is good. Dispersion analysis need to be done into the system whenever you put the WHR in a process. Now we understand some of the plants are using the pond ash, which is having the high moisture. So some of the plants were using the cooler gases to dry the pond ash. Drying the pond ash, this cooler gases with the heat, we can dry it and we can use it into our cement grinding process. But if you put this WHR, your heat availability to dry the pond ash or the low quality fly ash, which is the moisture, will become very restricted, and your mill performance as well as your economics can be changed. So we have to understand that what is most beneficial for you in your process. If the cooler gases are 100% available, WHR can be optimized accordingly. Some of the industry practices I have seen that they are taking further the hot gases coming out from the stack, going back to the cooler to increase the waste heat recovery or waste heat power generation. But yes, there is a good practice to increase the power generation. But what happened into the other other side of the process, your clinker temperature goes up. But we have to take care of that. If your cooler clinker temperature in the cooler is already lower, it is possible to do it. But if you're already running the clinker temperature higher, say again about 140, 150 degrees, this has to be re-examined before you put this one, because when you have the high temperature, the clinker goes to your cement grinding, your grinding power increases, your gypsum hydration process changes, which need a lot of water to be sprayed in the mills, especially the ball mill or the VRM, because to maintain the bed. So this is another side of the considerations we take it for the technical barriers. We have to find the optimum point where you need to maintain your cement quality, cement operation, clean operation, as well as generating the power. These are the few parameters we should take care before we design and select the volume of the gases available for WHR. In some of the places we have seen that because of this issues of the clinker temperature and clinker quality, some mechanical issues, especially in the wear and tear, as well as some kind of erosion is also taking place in the ducts, in the conveyor systems, especially the fans, depends upon what system you have, which is also affecting your plant reliability and plant quality of your operation. So whenever we decide the cooler, please take care of the few points, which is really a challenge for all of us. By saying all these things, my last point will be there. Yes, WHR is one of the best technology for cement industry to recover the energy from the waste heat. In the previous last 3 slides, I have mentioned about the lot of challenges, lot of concerns, but do not think only the concern. WHR also provides a lot of advantage for us, and there is challenges, but we have to see the benefit or positive side of the system here. It contributes your energy bill, because if you see the cement plants, I'm sure that India is also having the quite significant price of electricity. Price of depends upon what source you are using and how you are getting. And if you have the TPP, you have to have a lot of operational cost and a lot of things. WHR, your cost of operation as well as power generation. If you take the cost economics, it saves about 25 to 30% of your cost, depends upon your size of the WHR, size of the plants, which is really a very positive for our cement industry to maintain our cost economics as well the cost optimum, cost leadership. Most important point is that because if you don't have the WHR, you might have to use the power from the grid or power from the TPP. Especially in the grid, still our majority of the grid power is generated through the coal-fired power plants, and our TPP, the plants which are in the TPP, they are also having your coal-fired or oil-fired power plants, which is generating quite significantly of CO2 emission. By using the WHR, you can reduce your carbon footprints, which means you're reducing the CO2 emission from this, because whatever the power you substitute from the power plant or the grid, that is a zero CO2, because that is coming out from the with the hot gases. No fuel is used. So this is called environmental friendly energy. This is the biggest advantage industry as well as our CO2 or green energy or green emissions we are talking about nowadays are very well supported with this technology. My only request will be that please look into the WHR and cement plant as a one unit. Do not look WHR separately and plant separately, because then mismatch comes in that one. So think for that WHR is your integral part of your cement plant, and what are the requirements within that boundaries, and how we can optimize your cement manufacturing process, cost, and stability and the quality. Same time, produce the maximum power through the waste heat available from the system. Sometimes this all concerns what I have raised is my personal experience. Based on that, I have seen that when the cement plant is seen as a one unit and WHR seen as another unit, and if you take this as a one unit and one operating part, I'm sure that these concerns can be addressed, can be managed, and can be better optimized. So WHR brings a lot of benefit. As we all know that whenever there is some benefit, there's always challenge. And I think we all people in the cement industry are ready to take this challenge, technical challenges, towards our lower emission of the CO2 and saving our cost, and looking the WHR is a part of our cement plant. With this, I would like to say thanks. And if there is any questions, I will be happy to answer the questions. And that is my last slide for the discussion today.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, for the insights. I will wait for you to remove your presentation.
Okay. Yes.
So here we are. It was a very insightful presentation, and sharing your thoughts on this important subject. Where most importantly, I liked your 2 points where you said we always have to think the WHR plant as one part of the entire plant and not separately. The second part was utilizing your pond ash or the wet ash, which is a pretty important thing. The grinding units has to be in place. Moving forward, I would like to bring the president, Mr. Manoj Jha, the Senior Vice President from Prism Cements. He couldn't join us because of the technical connectivity, but I have a video presentation of his to be played. I will right now start the video presentation, and Mr. Jha will share his thoughts right here. By the time he gets connected through his mobile phone to answer the questions once the session is over. We'll take the questions once both the sessions are over, Mr. Goel. I hope that is fine with you.
That's fine. That's fine.
I request participants to raise your hands, and we will bring you on the stage to ask your questions. So I have seen a couple of questions raise their hands, and I've seen few questions which have come as typed. So I will request the participants who are typing the questions just to raise their hands. I will bring you on the stage after this presentation.
First of all, I welcome you all in this virtual conference organized by Mission Energy Foundation. In next 15 to 20 minutes, let us try to appreciate the technical barriers in utilizing waste heat. Once the barriers are known, the line of action to remove them also we should discuss. Barriers are there to be broken for improved efficiency. For increased utilization of heat, the culture of how we conserve urja is the core of all action. So every minute of every day is a different opportunity to capture and reuse last calorie going unused in the atmosphere. We have got models that can manage second to second efficiency, and let us discuss the road to this heat recovery journey. There has been a wide variation in estimate of heat that is unused and is available to be utilized. The typical estimate for a country with various industry is available and also can be worked out. These estimates help as a general guideline and reference. The estimates must be re-examined to find more opportunity and mitigate risk before drafting actionables. The smart data gathered in that way needs to be generated again and again at regular interval. It is important that since the input and process changes are dynamic, it is to be done at regular interval. While the low grade heat demand exists within industry, the economic heat recovery to match the demand varies industry to industry. The data available for oil, steel, paper, cement and ceramic industry that rejected the heat quantity exceeds the economically recoverable quantity. Estimate indicate that the rejected heat quantity is 2 to 10 times compared to recoverable heat quantity across all industry. Here comes the importance of knowing and addressing barriers. What are these barriers? Basically, the temperature of waste heat that is available ranges from ambient plus 15 degrees centigrade to ambient plus 200 degrees centigrade or even more. More is comparatively easier to use, but lower temperature is not so easy to use. Further, the flow rate of gas and corrosivity are another issues that is to be addressed. Manufacturing process also gets upset due to different process conditions, and the capacity utilization also is a barrier due to over capacity. Within barriers, to start with, one should have an approach to solve these issues. Recycling waste heat to a commercially viable process has been gathering momentum. It is in stage of building strong foundation, so there is a wide variation in estimate of heat recovery numbers. Companies, however, get motivated by different techno-commercial, market and strategic drivers. Many users are now close to one approach which is natural and practical as well. This is a three-stage approach: identification, investigation and business case. Identification process can be by dedicated energy team and analytical approach to energy management to identify opportunities internally and systematically. Other companies can identify opportunities internally but in a more opportunistic way or relied on approaches from supplier. Investigation is about obtaining further information on technical and practical requirement of heat recovery technologies and a detailed cost assessment. Few companies make it easier by merging this activity at identification stage through investigations, through detailed studies. Though some additional exploration might take place for a new technology, the technology is always progressive and hence this stage is very, very important. Finally, a business case for the investment is prepared as per the standard company processes and aspirations. What are the barriers? The barriers are techno-commercial during planning and execution stage and are most of technical nature post-execution. External barriers like subdued demand and impacting efficiency of the installation and the payback. Barriers during planning, execution and operation differ application to application and installation to installation. The efficiency utilization of heat is dependent on a wide range of circumstances. Most of them are site specific. The quantity of the streams, flow rate, temperature, presence of corrosive elements, size of installation, plant location, etc., etc. Let us now try to list out top 15 barriers, and this is open for upgrade. First, the high upfront cost of heat recovery technologies that are beyond business as usual considerations in these industries. Reducing costs through technological innovation or financial support would be of benefit to all companies, but in particular smaller companies with more limited access to capex. Number 2, the long payback period over 3 years. The company associated with heat recovery, improving payback periods would benefit the highly commoditized producers who are likely to install any energy efficiency innovation with an acceptable payback period. Number 3, the lack of confidence in heat recovery technologies and the payback calculations of suppliers reported by companies in various studies. Number 4, the perceived risk to quality of product and efficiency of process of integrating heat recovery technologies into existing equipment is very, very important. Minimizing or mitigating these risks through demonstration projects or independent feasibility studies likely to benefit all the companies. Number 5, the relatively low importance placed on energy efficiency and therefore limited resource committed to managing energy in comparison with other business priorities. Number 6, technical challenges for companies in identifying an appropriate heat sink and or finding a use for available low-grade heat, as well as integrating new technologies with existing systems. Number 7, the physical structure of a site acting as a barrier to heat recovery. In some cases, appropriate heat recovery solutions were too large to be installed on small sites. Other sites were too large to transfer ejected heat to a heat sink. Number 8, importance of timing of installations in cases where a system shutdown is needed, which may only happen every couple of years or a year. Number 9, recycling of available heat within a process. Number 10, recovery of available heat for other on-site processes. If it is not possible inside, then it should be on other on-site processes. Number 11, use of heat to generate electricity within combined heat and power installations or to distribute heat within district heating systems. Number 12. Low efficiency, for example, a heat source at 58 degrees centigrade and a sink at 25 degrees centigrade results in a Carnot efficiency maximum theoretical possible of about 10%. The abundantly available quantity of low heat source is a solution as well. Number 13. Integration into existing plant in relation to normal plant operations. Shutting down and restarting of a plant or an individual process line will entail significant complications and potential losses in production and thermal efficiency. Number 14. Heat loss during the transportation. The efficiency of heat transportation is primarily determined by the extent of heat losses experienced across a length of piping. This depends on various factors including the length of piping, the temperature of the heat supply, the thermal conductivity of installation, insulation, the pipe diameter, etc. etc. Number 15. Corrosion due to the resultant condensate formed in a condensing boiler is normally acidic, demonstrating a pH of between 3 to 5. This naturally constrains the choice available to process designers, with aluminum alloys and stainless steel normally being used in higher temperature areas, while plastics such as UPVC and polypropylene are most cost effective for lower temperature. Having known some of these issues, the barriers are there for us to classify, assess the risk, to mitigate the collaboration of stakeholders. This must be done proactively within all constraints. Case-to-case specific solutions are to be worked out. There has been a traction to develop the capacity and capability to recycle and reuse in all stakeholders, and hopefully it has taken a specific direction. Thank you. Thank you all.
Innovative way where we can take the presentations, recorded presentations of the speakers who are unable to join due to some technical glitches. Trying to connect Mr. Jha, but he is still not able to the low network. But I would now happily proceed further to take questions of the participants. And I'm sure people would like to answer few questions here.
Yes, I'm available for question answer.
I'm giving the mic to people. To the people, the person who I'm giving the mic, he will pop up in the screen to answer.
Sure.
The person I'm giving the mic is Mr. Rahil Jain from Siemens.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Rahil, just to interrupt, if you would like to on your video, you can on.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Once again, and a very nice presentation by Raju sir. I really appreciate for me being as a OEM. It is very good to understand the barriers from the industries, and we thought there's a lot of space available for us to do something new. So my question is specifically to sir, the energy what you said, which cement industry is not able to utilize, almost 290 kilocalorie and 20% only we are using it through WHR. So rest what we are saying of 264 kilocalorie we are wasting. So yeah. I'm looking for your suggestion or your opinion or advice, how we can do that, how we can use as a power equipment manufacturer, what we can do that of that energy.
Very good point, Rahil, because if you understand the cement bit process on that side, because the heat which goes out, even the 264, what you mentioned that one from my slide, which is required for your process requirements, especially drying the raw material, drying the fuel, and going the clinker out from the cooler. It is impossible to drop the energy completely zero to going out. So this process requirements are required certain energy to be wasted. But again, coming back to the technology, what I would say that right now, if you say that 20% to 22% recovery of the heat can be done. If there is a technology or something which can increase the heat rate or heat utilization, if you see like a TPP, people now talking about 45 to 48% recovery of the heat from the energy. So if you can work or industry or some technology can be breakthrough to increase from 22 to 2022 to more than that, it could be much more better for them. That can bring your cost effectiveness as well as your payback periods will be lower.
Okay. So, in line with the same thing, sir, is it possible to extract heat from the process, that process which we are already giving to the other cement processes, low heat? Is it possible to extract that heat?
If I understand correctly, the gas is available after the process of the raw mill and cool mill. Technology does not support for that low temperature with the moisture, the energy extraction from that. It can be done just after the preheater. If there is a technology available which can be used on the stacked gases, will be much more beneficial for the industry.
Actually, sir, I'll just like to touch one thing because a long time back, maybe 4 or 5 years back, we have introduced one thing. It is not very popular across the world, but we try to develop a product called organic Rankine cycle.
Yes.
So it is not very popular because of the commercial viability as well.
Correct. Correct.
So being as a just to check it whether again it is a viability to refresh it the knowledge of whether we can use that gap. So I would like to work personally for that project if it is possible. Need your inputs and all. We can just refresh once again whether we can use that or not, as well as to
Right,
check
I
the
think
viability of the project.
answer of that question is your question actually. Yes, the economics will play the very important role to make a trial because this technology is not very new. This technology in the market out more than 15 to 28 years actually, but it never goes not only India, worldwide
Yeah.
because of the cost economics. So coming back to that, yes, anything which is the cost effectiveness or cost effective. Or
Okay.
unfortunately, sorry to say that I should not say this into the forum of energy. Mr. Khatri will not like it. If energy cost becomes very high and all this, then might be
Yeah.
work out. But given the current energy prices and current energy focus, and now you can see that now the next competitors coming the solar energy.
Yeah.
Now cement plants are bidding or battling between solar energy or WHR. So we should go first. So these are the challenges will always there in technology. So economics as well as the availability, viability, as well as the your preference will always remain there to select the.
Rahil, moving forward, I need to take questions
Yeah.
from other participants.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Rahil.
Thank you.
Now I would like to take the questions from Praveen Pandey, the regional head project from Lafarge Wholesale.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, Rajesh, good morning, and thank you very much for a very insightful presentation on WHRS.
Thank you.
I just want to, just ask and want to share your experience. What you see like, because when we go with new projects, whether you feel that 5-stage preheater will be a better choice when I look into WHRS as a combined entity with a new plant. How you see a 5-stage preheater makes a economic sense, or a 6-stage preheater makes a economic sense going with a WHRS, if I have a WHRS in my mind?
If you ask me personally, and if you ask my technical as a technical head, inform like my recommendation, WHR has to be considered from the plant inception, plant design itself. I cannot tell you the name of the few countries where this is mandatory. It has to be in the design stage, or WHR should be built in when the plant is or plane is built. So yes, your point is right. If we take it from the design point, because in the beginning of the part of the design, yes, it is possible because the economic or investment considerations. So what I suggest is that do the whole engineering according to the integrated plant with the WHR. You may need to build WHR after 1 or 2 years or 3 years when your process and all things are stabilized. But make it the layout, make it the engineering, make out the all process calculations and process designs based on the considering the WHR as a part of cement plant. I will say that yes, we should do it.
No, my question was little different on that. What you see like for a new plant, what are your views seeing a 5-stage preheater or a 6-stage preheater when I am looking at a WHRS? Maybe in a year or 2 years or 3 years. Yeah.
Just to interrupt you, Mr. Pandey, I am trying to off your video so that you have a better connectivity.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no issues. Yeah.
So, Mr. Pandey, I think depends upon what is your purpose of business. The purpose of business is power or is the clinker, because heat is available. yeah, the heat is already there. You want to produce more clinker or you want to produce more power? This depends upon you. I will never recommend to reduce the size of the plant, just produce the power. Then this is not a, then this goes to the against our ethics, because this is the waste heat. It means after the maximizing our cement plant capacity and the productivity, whatever heat is waste should be utilized, not to produce the heat to produce the waste energy. That will be my way, because depends on business business considerations.
Okay. Okay. I have one more question, Raju, is what you see like this hot air recirculation in your plant, like whatever the WHR projects you have done. Have you any time you have implemented this hot air recirculation in your plants, and how beneficial it is?
Some of the plants are doing, but we have to understand the technology behind that. Just don't do it because everybody is doing it, because each plant has a different configuration, different type of coolers, and what is your clinker temperature, what is the milling technology you have in the downstream. So consider that, what the cement grinding technology what you have, what product you are going to produce, and how much blend and product qualities are there. Please do not just copy paste because I'm doing that, you are doing, or you are doing, that's what I'm doing. Understand the whole concept, and I don't think that is a very good if your clinker temperature is very high.
So if I see that in any of your UltraTech plants, you have never implemented this hot air recirculation system?
I think this is not right. This question I cannot answer right now here on this platform.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can we go to next? Can we go to next caller?
I'm giving it to Mr. Anand Reddy.
Yeah.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Anandji.
Sir, this pressure drop across the preheater boiler, how much it is allowable? If the pressure drop is like that, how much percentage of the preheater fan has to be increased? How much percentage has to be increased?
Okay, so this depends upon your boiler design, the duct design, and depends upon the location of or how the heights and things are there. But normally 60 to 100 millimeter water gauge pressure drop can be seen, and at least 1 to 2% false air can, O2 level can increase, which is at 5 to 6% of false air.
The preheater fan percentage of the increasing, how much it will be expected, sir?
So if you can say that roughly about at least about 2 to 3% of our RPM, depends upon the plant of size and the volumes.
Right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm giving the mic to Mr. Dinesh Jagatia from Heidelberg Cement.
Yes, Mr. Dinesh.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dinesh.
My question is that, sir, in cement plant, various fuel is used, like petcoke, coal, and everything is used. So, because of using a variety of fuels, we are not getting appropriate temperatures at cooler boiler also. It is very much fluctuating, and it is there. Is it the concern that using a petcoke will be feasible for getting a temperature or a coal? But what are the strategies we are designing in cooler?
So, Dinesh, I think if you say the cooler, I think coal or fuel is morely affecting on the clean size, because if your fuel is not stable or fuel is not good quality or good process is done, your clean operation will keep on disturbing. So whenever clean operation disturbs, cooler disturbs very quickly. So first you have to optimize your clean operation, then you talk about the cooler. As I mentioned to my slide there, the null point of the power point has to be optimized first. But first you focus on your clean operation, make the clean stable, whatever the fuel you are using, because that is not affecting the cooler, because cooler gas is coming from the clinker cooling process. So if your clinker is formed good, clinker is forming good neutralization and good recovery of heat is happening in this secondary tertiary air, and then heat available for WHR will stabilize your WHR.
Yes, sir. But sometimes we are fines are being generated more in case of petcoke, and at that time we are getting.
That's the things, because you are using the more sulfur, and sulfur is not good friend of the neutralization in the clean, because of your disintegration of the clinker, because your beta C2S convert to gamma C2S very quickly for that. So your particle size or your granulation of the clinker disturb in the use of petcoke, which is very low. That is the reason your clean operation and the cooler operation becomes very important.
And what are the benchmark you are being setting out? For example, per ton of clinker, what is the benchmark is there for WHR units? Just like for evaluating ourselves where we stand and what is the industry is going ahead.
Okay, so this is sorry to say that I'm just back to the India after 25 years of working outside, and this is the first time I heard that people are measuring the WHR production or efficiency per ton of clinker. There is no relation to per ton of clinker because heat available from the process should be minimum waste should be there, and if you produce very low efficiency of cooler, low efficiency of preheater, high heat consumption of flame, you can increase more power. So it is technically I don't appreciate or agree with that measurement unit, kilowatt or megawatt per ton of clinker. I don't think that's the right indicator to use it. You must understand how much heat is how much you are recovering.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dinesh. I think Mr. Alagesen is back.
Yes.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, regarding the cooler pan research from the exit gas, is it feasible? Is it done in any other plant?
I will recommend to off your video so that I get a activity from you.
Can you please repeat your question? I did not get it properly.
Yeah, sir. Sir, for more hot gas volume to the waste heat recovery, you suggested that. Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
For more hot gas volume to waste heat recovery through recirculation air to cooler fans from the cooler exit gas, is it feasible? Is it done in any other plants that it can increase the hot air of the waste heat recovery? And what about the clear temperature?
Okay, Ganeshji, I think I had a similar answer to you also. I think first you have to optimize your cooler because our primary job is to cool down the clinker, not produce the power. Whatever the process you need to optimize is the cooler clinker temperature at the minimum gases to the cooler. And after that process is efficient, whatever the gases available should be used for the power generation, not disturbing the cooler or disturbing the process balance and generate the more power, because this is, I think, I'm really still not very sure where a balance should be, because my balance should be produce the clinker, produce the cement at the good quality, at the lowest cost, as well as the best operating efficient operations. Then whatever gas available should be used for that, not increasing the temperature or increasing the heat towards to increase the more power. I may not be positive on that side, but these are my personal views. Yes, I know that people are having the different opinions in the industry, different concepts, but I believe that cement plant job is to produce the cement with the best quality as per the customer requirement. Then whatever the heat available should be used for the waste generator, not other way around.
I have a written question by Mr. Shailesh Bade.
Yes.
Typically, the payback period of WHR in cement.
Yeah, it depends upon the size and things. I think this goes to the 3 to 5 years.
So I thank Mr. Goel for answering all the questions. We saw Mr. Jha coming in for some time, but again we saw him off the network. So we couldn't have him on the session, but it was a lovely video by him. I thank everyone for the session, and I hope everybody enjoyed this session. We will take a break now and move on to the networking launch. I think I have a chat again there. There is a question. There is a question by Prism Johnson.
Yes, please.
Is any impact in clinker quality after installing the WHRs?
No, there should not be.
There should not be. Okay. So we are probably answering all the questions, and I hope Mr. Goel would have enjoyed this technical meet, which we have done in a very different platform and giving the opportunities for participants to network with each other in the networking launch. The tables will open now. I request the participants to take seats virtually so that you can, talk to each other the same way we are talking to Mr. Goyal in this pandemic situation where we cannot, meet each other. एक दूसरे को गले नहीं लगा सकते, न चरण छू सकते हैं, sir. But I am sure this is helping us to connect the world.
Yes, but Mr. Khatri, I must congratulate your team and appreciate your efforts in that. Whatever the reason, whatever the situation in the world with the pandemic is putting in front of us, but you have made it happen and sharing our technical knowledge, technical community to be communicating and engaging. Although yes, there's a physical touch and physical presence is not there, but I can tell you, I have never felt in this last 40 minutes we are not physically present, but it's a wonderfully arranged, very good organization, and thanks to you and your team, Khatri Sahab, to bring it this.
Thank you for being with us, and thank you for your love.
Always look forward to talking soon.
Has typed the question for him. Ultratech has installed WHR ORC technology in Tandipatti plant. It is Tandipatri. Would you be willing to go for the ORC if the payback is 3.5 years?
This all depends upon the project economics, as I mentioned, the payback and ROI and things. If this works on that, why not?
Why not? Why not we go beyond installation? The current.
Yeah, I think this, to my audience, I think we have to understand one more point, because our cement technology and cement process is a process, one size will not fit for all. Each case and each plant has to be evaluated for their merit and demerits. And please do not think one size will fit for all. If I have done something or Mr. Khatri has done something, it will work for you. We have to evaluate. Basis concept will remain the same, but again, decision making should be taken case to case basis.
That's right. That is the reason we took almost about 2 months to choose this particular technology to connect with you all. Unlike Zoom or other networks which we did not follow, because we wanted close touch with each other. We wanted people to talk to each other, because we were all quarantined for almost 2 months in our home, and we wouldn't meet people. So this is the network opportunity which we have brought to talk to each other, meet each other, and overall the next step which we are doing is the mobile app where you could get connected. I have another question on my WhatsApp, I believe. My team is any impact in clinker quality after installation of WHR? I think we have answered this question.
We answered that question.
You answered that question. Okay. So we will move forward and take the tables to talk to each other and meet and greet people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Khatri, you are very successful organizing this one. Thank you very much. All the best to you.
Thank you.
I'll come back to you later.
We will look forward to your support in future.
I'll come back to you later, sir. Thank you.